Joining us now is One Nation leader, Senator Pauline Hanson. Senator, always good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Did the Prime Minister do the right thing, delay an election because of the cyclone, or do you think that there's more to this? I mean, polls are bad. Is he buying more time?
I think it would look bad for him if he had to call the election, considering the cyclone that it's hit, or this tropical low cyclone that's hit the coast and northern New South Wales. So it wouldn't have looked good for him. So he's taken a political decision not to call the election at this time. So it's going to be May.
OK, so a May election, we'll see what happens there. Anthony Albanese is not only trying to work out when to have an election, but he's trying to work out what caused the cyclone, and he's decided climate change is to blame. Here he was on Friday.
What we know, the science tells us that there would be more extreme weather events, they would be more frequent and they'd be more intense. I think anyone who looks at the science knows that that is what is occurring. So you can't say this event is just because of climate change. What you can say is that climate change is having an impact on our weather patterns.
Anyone who looks at the science, well, I mean, the Climate Council, the CSIRO, they all say that cyclones are becoming less frequent. So, Senator Hanson, is Anthony Albanese not familiar with the science?
He hasn't clearly read it and he doesn't understand it, and he's using it as an excuse and fear-mongering again in the lead up to the next election for those people who don't understand, don't read. So he's with his own club of people, OK? They're the blind leading the blind. That's what it's all about, just to get votes. These people don't understand it. CSIRO have come out and said we've got fewer cyclones now than what we used to have. Now, I remember the flooding that we had in 1974. I lived on the Gold Coast then at that time when it was horrendous, and Ipswich and Brisbane copped it as well. But I think the last one was about 1990, but it didn't even cross the coast. So they're using this as an excuse to blame the weather patterns. They talk about bushfires. Bushfires are actually get out of control because they don't do the controlled burning. And they actually don't do anything in the national parks. And when you have a density of population, of course you're going to have more fuel there for the bushfires to take off. And we're a country, we've always had bushfires, we've always had drought. But they only take the records back to 1910, not prior to that, when we had a lot of weather changes in the late 1800s. So it's been a farce. They've used it to their own self-gains. They're pushing an agenda. Most people that I talk to don't believe this BS that we've pushed about this climate change. Yes, climate's changing, but it always has done for hundreds and thousands of years, millions of years actually. So it's no different to what's actually happening at the moment.
No, well, you've got the CSIRO, Anthony Albanese's own department, saying something other to what he's saying. I mean, for goodness sake, he'd be right to read it. He should read it, the Senator. Have a read.
Yes, I totally agree. He needs to read it to understand it. They don't understand what they're on about either, does Chris Bowen, the whole lot. Like I said to you, this is a political agenda. They're playing on the people that have been brainwashed through the educational system, the young ones coming through when they vote, and they're all scaremongering, and especially, you know, Greta Thunberg. People who follow her. The world's coming to an end. Give me a break. You'll die from health issues or cancer because you couldn't get the treatment or health attention that you need before you'll die from climate change.
Yeah, good point. Now, Senator, you will introduce a fresh push for a Senate inquiry into gender dysphoria, particularly focusing on transgender athletes in women's sport. This is such an important issue. It's not the first time you've tried to get this up. Why does it keep getting rejected, and how confident are you that you will be able to get an inquiry on this important topic up and running?
Janika, I have tried about 6 times already to have an inquiry into it already. I've put in about even referral about sports, women's sports, and I did that the last sitting of Parliament, and yet it's rejected again. And you've got these progressives in the Liberal Party, you've got Bragg, Kovacek, Hume, Kovacek, and also, who's the other one from Tasmania, Corbeck. So these are the progressives in the Liberal Party who won't even vote for an inquiry, Senate inquiry into it. And I feel for those women out there, we've brought this upon ourselves. We've allowed this diversity, inclusion to actually destroy us as a human race and what we define as male and female. The feminists have pushed it for women are equal. Well, you know, we've allowed now for them to play in women's sports. They're more stronger in strength. You can't change from being a male at birth to become a female. It can't happen. You're biologically still male. You may take your hormones, you may take the treatment that you want to, but you'll never change to be a female. You always have the characteristics making you a male. So therefore, why don't we acknowledge that? If you want to go and set up your own team with the transgender, LGBTQ, I don't care whoever you want with it, leave the women alone. You're cheats. You're nothing but cheats. You know damn well that you can't, you're only doing it through nastiness, and you know damn well that you're using your transgender as a reason to play in women's sports and against the women, which you know that they can't compete with you. You're cheats.
And Senator Hanson, everything you've just said is what everybody knows to be true. Congratulations, even though you've brought this inquiry proposition 5 times. Bring it a 6th, a 7th and 8th. Keep going and more power to you until finally our politicians address this issue. We appreciate your time tonight. Always great to talk to you. Thank you so much.